Hi, and welcome to Return of the Retro, episode 15, where we talk about Captain America and the Avengers. It is Monday, July 28th, and with me, as always, is Ervik. Hi, Ervik!
The Avengers!
They took our jibs!
I'm never gonna get tired of that.
I want to say welcome to the live chat, of which there looks like there's two people watching now, which maybe one is me, and one maybe you, Ervik?
What is
I'm not
me?
sure. Oh,
It is me.
good. We are our own best audience. Yes, it's you. You even posted in the chat. Look at that. So what have you been playing?
The Dark Souls 2 first of 3 DLCs came out this past week, Crown of the Sunken King.
Wait,
so I
wait.
have now... What? Yes.
Before you go on, I wanted to ask, is this about a king who is under the sea?
No.
Okay. I'm good with the name then, because otherwise it's very, very obvious.
It's a world that's sunk. It's like a city that's cave.
Okay, that's cool.
And it's balls ass hard as for Dark Souls, but I got sucked back in. I beat the DLC, and then I started a new character and was punching things with cestus, which are like essentially brass knuckles for all intents and purposes. And it makes the game way harder, but I've almost beaten it that way, and I'm going to beat it, and it's going to be awesome.
So how many times through will this be? Just two, or?
Oh no, let's see. I beat it. I got to New Game Plus, a New Game plus 4 one time, so that's 4 technically. And then 2 to 6. I don't know, at least 10, probably more like 15.
Some people would call that an addiction.
I love Dark Souls 2. You don't even know. Dark Souls and Demon Souls. I actually, a couple months ago, went back and beat Dark Souls 1 and the DLC all the way through again, because I hadn't played it in a while. And it was awesome. It was very awesome.
I'm afraid that I lost my save game in Dark Souls when I reloaded Windows on my computer because it was a game for Windows. So it probably didn't have Steam backup, whatever it's called.
Oh, no.
Steam Sync. Yeah, which I wasn't too far. It was only past the second big boss or whatever, but...
Yeah, that's fine. It just means you get to play it again. That's great.
But I like the game, and it is balls hard, but, I mean... Sometimes I just want to go in and kill things.
Yeah. That's kind of the trick is once you've beaten it, like even once, like once you memorize the patterns and stuff, the game is infinitely easier. Like the first time I beat it took me an absurd number of hours. Now I can beat the entire game in like probably like 6 hours or something. Like
that's pretty quick.
That's like getting all the items and stuff. If you just do a power run, you can do it. I mean, people have done it in like I think there's some stupid speed like 22 minutes or something for Dark Souls 2.
That's insane.
Beating only the essential, because there's a bunch. Most of the bosses, not most, like half the bosses are technically optional, but you want the souls and the items and stuff. So I don't. I've done a power play like once, and I think I beat it in like 2.5 hours or something like that. It wasn't super speedy, but you're way under geared, and it makes all the bosses harder. It's fun, but it's not the way I prefer to play. I like just meandering through, murder and stuff, moving along.
Yeah. Well, at least you're having fun with it.
I love it.
You definitely got your money's worth.
Oh, that is so true. I've also been playing Kirby Triple Deluxe when I can steal the 3DS away from my wife, who is also playing Kirby Triple Deluxe.
Did you finish it yet?
I haven't. I think I'm like halfway through, give or take. I'm in like, how many worlds are there?
I think there were 6.
Okay, so yeah, I'm in like the 3rd world, so that's what I thought. It's taken me a little while because I refuse to move past the level until I've gotten all the little, whatever the collectibles are that are in there that open the secret level. If you get all of them,
all the sunstones.
Yeah, stones.
Yeah, I got all those on my finish as well.
I got stuck on some level and I'm missing one and I can't figure out where it's at, and I've refused to look it up because Kirby is too goddamn easy for me to Google.
That's how I was.
So
I'm not Googling this shit. I'll just keep running the level.
Yeah, I'll eventually find it. I only ran it 3 or 4 times, and then my wife got hold of it, and she's been Kirbying. So when she's done with it, I will probably get it back and probably have to start over because I don't remember where I'm at.
The only part I really felt was difficult was the final boss fight. And it wasn't overly difficult. It wasn't anywhere near even a regular Dark Souls boss. But it was challenging enough.
Thus far, Kirby's fairly easy, and I'm a little disappointed with how easy it is, even though It's not any easier than previous Kirby's. It's just
It's
I
the
kind
same
of want
game.
more, but yeah. But the bosses are really fun. That being said, most of them are really fun to play. What else? Oh, Magic 2015 Duels of the Planeswalkers I got for my iPad when it came out.
Is that
Um,
free to play on the iPad?
Technically, yes, but like you can only play like the first couple matches, and then you have to like buy stuff.
Yep.
So I bought the whole kit and caboodle. It was like $29 or something to get everything unlocked. Um, but I gotta say I'm a little disappointed. They cut a lot of my favorite modes, like the challenge mode or puzzle mode or what it was called.
Yep.
Like that doesn't exist this time, which and neither does plane chase.
Oh, I like the plane chase.
Right?
I
Like
thought it was really hard.
it's basically just the game this time around, and but they added the ability to like earn boosters, and you can actually like customize your decks 100% now. Like you get a bunch of cards and you can build whatever deck you want. You start with like you pick one deck at the start that's pre-built, and then as you unlock cards, you can literally put whatever. You can put a white card in your green deck if you want. Which is that's kind of neat, I guess. But
Yeah.
all the other modes missing is I feel a little gypped. Like if I had done, I bought it like the day it came out. I wish I'd done a little research because had I realized they cut all the modes, I probably wouldn't have bought it. To be honest with you, it's still fun. It's still magic. You get a free if you do it soon enough, you get a free magic card, like actual magic card, and I play actual magic, so that was nice. It's an alternate art soul, either the soul of Zendikar or the soul of Ravnica, which are two mythic rares from the 2015 expansion.
That's pretty cool.
So I mean that's neat.
Are you going to get it on Steam too, or just going to play on your iPad?
I'll eventually get it on Steam, I'm sure, because I know a bunch of people who play Magic on there, and I like to play with them. So you included, of course.
Yep.
So yeah, I will eventually pick it up. Again, the lack of puzzle mode specifically, I really enjoyed. I like Plane Chase too, but a little disappointed.
We're going to
You can
pause
tell
it
I'm
here for a sec. I got to handle something. About that, everybody. We had a little technical difficulty in the house with a roommate needing something, so yeah, I'm back now. Are you there?
welcome back.
Oh, there you are. Okay, so you were talking about Titanfall. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that was the next game on my list. Titanfall. I have also been playing. I am Regen 8 of 10 total, which is essentially prestiging. In Titanfall, they're called like regening, and it is muy fun. That's about it. Normally, it's really easy to regen. This one, you have to win like 100 rounds, and I've only played like I'm well past like I hit 50, and I've been playing for like hours past, and I'm still only at like 74 rounds played. I've won like 68 of them, but I still have like 32 to go, and that's so many. It's kind of discouraging. I actually haven't played in a few days because I keep looking at it like, ugh, so far away. Blah.
That's how I feel with Marvel Heroes.
So what have you been playing? That is my list. It's a little short. I've been very busy at work. So
My list is pretty big. I mean, it's been over 2 months since we did a show, so I've been a bit busy, especially since I had surgery on my knee and haven't been working. But Marvel Heroes has been my number one lately. I finally got Captain America up to 60. Hulk is at 49, who I hope to get to 50 tomorrow night, or maybe the night after. I'm not sure which. I got Ms. Marvel up to 25, Hawkeye's up to 25, Punisher's up to 25. I've been
damn
playing
son,
a lot
how many
of it.
characters did you buy?
I've only paid for 3. I got Daredevil and Hawkeye for free because you get to pick one of the first 5 for free, and then when you complete your first or the prologue, you get one for free. So those are my first 2. I paid for Captain America, Hulk, and the Punisher during a BOGO sale, so I got 6 more there. So there's 8, and then I've gotten 2 randoms as well. So it's pretty
like
awesome.
Drops, you mean?
Yeah, the Eternity Shards you can turn in 175 of them for a random character, and I've been lucky enough not to get a repeat yet.
Oh, you can't. I was gonna ask. You can get ones you've already got.
Yeah, you can get a repeat, but if you do, you can use that token to upgrade your superpower, your big power, which in the case of the Hulk, he comes down like an asteroid and pounds the crap out of everything. Captain America calls in the Avengers and stuff like that. So it's not total waste.
Okay, neat.
Picked up Pokemon Y again and started playing through it and had another scare with it. But I was about 12 hours in, and I went to pick it up a couple days ago, and it told me the data on my SD card was corrupt again. I'm like, you son of a bitch! I've already lost 100 hours to this game without getting past like halfway through it. One time I got the Lucaro, I think it is the one you get for free after your first Mega Evolution. I got that once on all these playthroughs. And I think I'm on playthrough number 4 now. And it just
I think
keeps
you need a
corrupting.
new SD card. I think this one hates
This
you.
is the only game that's having issues. I mean, no other game I have on my SD card is having any issues. I don't understand. But I was able to save it. And it's okay. The real Jonathan Blow has joined us in chat. He's been playing no Wi-Fi at the beach house. Well, it must be nice to be at a beach house, you fuck. I played some Curry Triple Deluxe, which we talked about. I finished the whole game, got every Sunstone, and did all the extra levels too. It was good, but I talked about that. Oh, with the Club Nintendo Platinum bonus, I got NES Remix. If you're a retro gamer and you're listening to this and you have a Wii U, you need to get NES Remix. That game is fucking great.
That is on my platinum list, which I just got emailed that I need to go pick a thing for. So,
Hey, Malorium has joined us too. Awesome. You really need to get it, bud. It's just so cool doing the stuff in it. Right now, I'm Link in Donkey Kong. So Link in the original Legend of Zelda couldn't jump, so you can't jump in Donkey Kong. But somehow you gotta get up to the top and avoid those fucking barrels. Because you can't jump, you also can't get the fucking hammers. So your only choice is to go up ladders to avoid them and hope they don't come down randomly at you.
can you like slash them with your sword? Can
No,
you cut the
no, you
barrels?
can't because
What?
I don't know why you can't do that. I would think you could, but I've been pressing the buttons and I got no sword. So it's literally going up the first level of Donkey Kong with nothing. But there's a bunch of cool games in it. And there's a bunch unlockable that you don't realize when you first start playing. You get Donkey Kong Jr., Excite Bike, Mario Brothers, Super Mario Brothers, and I think Balloon Fight are your first few games you can play. But you can unlock Ice Climbers, Pinball, and they don't have the full levels or anything, but they got modified stuff for you to do in each of them, which is cool. And then they have the remix levels, which is like the one I just described, where they put Link into Donkey Kong. And of course,
It does sound
NES,
like fun.
yeah, it's awesome. There's NES Remix 2 as well, which I'm going to get once I finish this one. But I've been making sure I've been going through getting 3 stars in every level as well. You can rainbow after the 3 stars if you do perfect, but I'm not that insane to go ahead and do that.
What? You're not a Rainbow Warrior?
No, I'm not Jeff Gordon.
Racing is dumb.
Speaking of Legend of Zelda, I started playing the original for the first time with a guide. I've always gone to it and just kind of fucked around for like 5 minutes, and then like, oh, I don't have a fucking clue what I'm doing. Done. But I pulled out a walkthrough to at least guide me to the dungeons, not to guide me through the dungeons. So I got through the first 2, and I'll probably pick that up again tomorrow while I'm on my 3DS, waiting for my doctor's appointment. So that'll be cool.
I tried to play that on hardware recently, actually, and it turns out my the battery in my gold cartridge has died, and I still wanted to play, and I didn't want to tear my cartridge apart and put a battery in it because I was lazy. So I tried to play through the whole game without tearing it off, and I gave up because I got tired.
Mine, I don't know if the battery's any good in mine or not. I bought it used. The guy had to clean the thing literally for 20 minutes to get it to work. And he knew it wasn't the NES because he threw in, I think is it Yoshi's Cookie on the NES?
Oh, but that sounds like a dirty porn site.
Well, he threw in another game. I think it was Yoshi's Cookie, and it booted right up in the NES. So he knew it wasn't the NES itself. So he just kept scrubbing with them fucking Q-tips and alcohol. Eventually, he got it to work. So I bought it. It's a gold card as well. It's not a gray card.
Yeah, gold card's where it's at.
I started playing Darksiders 2 because I had a fix for Zelda and I didn't want to pull out my 3DS at home, so which is no big deal, but I had access to my PC again because I could bend my knee once again. And so I started playing Darksiders 2 again, and It's a lot harder than last time I left it. I don't know what I'm doing differently, but I'm getting my ass kicked.
I've never finished. I played most of Darksiders 1, but never finished it, and I have not picked up Darksiders 2.
2 you play as death versus as war. So there's that change. I mean, there's some differences in that, but it's basically the same game, same basic stuff. Just like, Twilight Princess is the same as fucking everything else. It's 3D Zelda. There are differences in why one game's better than the other, but it's the same essential game, same tools and everything. I got Shovel Knight because it finally came out, and that's been a lot of fun. Um, it's
What'd you get it on?
I got it on Steam. I realized I got it on Steam when they sent the survey out for the Kickstarter because I got it through Kickstarter, and I was going to get it on my Wii U because I wanted to play on the Wii U just so I had it in front of me. And at the
And a
time, I
reason
couldn't.
to play your Wii U. I'm just saying.
I've actually been playing a lot on that. I didn't put it in here. I'm going to add that to my list. Damn it. Um, but at the time it came out, I couldn't bend my knee enough to sit at my desk comfortably, so I was going to play over there in the living room on the couch. But then I couldn't because I'd already filled out the survey, so I had to wait for my knee to fix itself so I could play on the computer. That's what I'm sitting at. Duh. And it's a good game. I really enjoy it. It's got secrets in it and stuff hidden to go get, and I've killed King Knight and Spectre Knight. I think those are the first two, and I think I killed the third one as well, but I'm not sure. I can't remember exactly where I am in that. I gotta get back into it. I finished a few games besides Kirby Triple Deluxe. I finished Super Metroid, which we talked about in the show. Actually, all three of these we've talked about. So I finally got through Super Metroid, and the ending surprised me. I thought I was fucked, and it turns out you're not when that happens. So, not a spoiler, but you'll understand when you get there if you haven't played it. Mega Man I finally finished, beat Dr. Wily. That was a good game, really enjoyed that. Wouldn't have been able to do that without save states, though.
Yeah, that game's real hard.
Shadowrun Returns I finally finished. Thank you, Steam, for having that Steam backup thing that you do of save games. Went back into that, had like 3 missions to go, and finished it up in about an hour and a half. It's really good, kind of easy, but really good. And when I finished that, I started playing, what was the game you suggested? XCOM, but you then suggested, hey, don't do that until you get the DLC. So I quickly put that back down.
I want you to play it. Don't not play it. But yeah, the DLC isn't like an expansion. It's all shit that happens throughout the game. Like they add different resources you can collect during the maps and stuff, and different like abilities your players can get and whatnot. So if you're like me and you just beaten it and you get the DLC and you're like, God damn it, I don't want to do it again. But then so I waited like months before I played the DLC because I just did not feel like playing all the way through again because I'd just done it.
I was looking, because the week I played it, it was in the Humble Bundle, and I was looking through the Humble Bundle. The DLC wasn't part of the bundle, so you could get the game and a whole bunch of other shit for like $5 versus the $20 for the expansion, or $30, whatever it is. I'm just like, why isn't the expansion included? I'd buy your bundle even though I own half these games if you just included that. So I gotta wait for a sale. Right now I'm not making enough money to go buy games, so it's a thing. So when I couldn't play that, I decided to play a different strategy game. I started playing Space Hulk, which is fucking cool. I didn't expect it to be what it was.
Yeah, it's based on a board game.
It straight up tells you that too.
Yeah. It is a digital version of a board game, which is super neat.
I started playing Seventh Guest, the old PC CD-ROM game, and it's a little creepy. It's not as creepy as I thought it would be. And
well, I mean, it's hard to be creeped out by blocky graphics.
It still sets a nice tone and everything, but you just walk into a rizzle and you're like, so what do I do now? I guess I'll go to another room,
different room.
Yeah, and basically that's what I'm stuck at a puzzle using chess pieces. I haven't bothered to look up how to do it yet. I want to figure out what I'm supposed to do, but that's where I'm at. And Pikmin 3 was the other one I was playing on my Wii U. And I got through like 15 or 16 days on that. And that game would be a lot better if you didn't have to collect the fruit to stay alive. Yep. That's my only complaint of that game. Other than that, it's very beautiful. It plays well. It's nice. So what have you been doing in real life besides playing video games?
Um, Aside from work, my wife and I have just been house hunting a lot, and it sucks. I hate everything about it. I don't want to do it anymore. I want to live in a bungalow by the sea that costs no money and never do anything again. It is very discouraging. Houses that are in our price range inside of Orlando are typically in the ghetto, and I'm not talking like $50 here. Like I make a decent living, and like like if you go outside of Orlando, there's like really nice houses for like under 200 grand. Like you can get like a bitchin' house inside Orlando. 200 grand buys you like the nicest house in the ghetto.
That's terrible. My house
Right,
costs
like
54,000 just to make you feel bad.
Yeah, no, I fucking know. Don't worry. I talk about it all the time. I'm like, Becky, let's move somewhere we can get a $50,000 house. Because I'm telling you, like, 180 grand down here, like, I've been looking at houses, roughly 180 grand is, like, what most... There's a weird bump in Orlando, like, there's, like, up to 180 and then, like, 300. Like, anywhere in between, like, kind of doesn't exist. So, and I can't get all the way to the 300 range, like close, but not all the way. So like 180 is kind of where we've been. And they're all track houses that were like, probably nice a decade ago when they were built. No one kept them up. And now
And they were all foreclosed on.
Yeah, they were all foreclosed on. So there's like 8 of them in each neighborhood. And, no one's keeping up any of the houses. So they all look like crack dens. It's miserable. I hate it. I hate everything about it. And I'm so frustrated. I'm like, baby, let's just go back to renting. And she's like, no, we're adults. We should buy. And I'm like, but I don't wanna. I don't wanna. That's where my life is at right now.
Oh, for me, I finally had surgery on my knee. It was a torn ACL and torn meniscus. They didn't have to repair the meniscus under the eval they gave me, but then when they got in there, they realized, yes, we do. So my surgery went from 4 hours to 8 hours, which meant I was doubled up on pain meds, doubled up on nauseating, keep me under meds. So what I should have, when I got in at 5:30 in the morning and should have been home 1 o'clock that afternoon, I wasn't home till about 11:30 the next day because I was puking my fucking brains out. Including if they just gave me Percocet. That came back up.
Oh, that's a shame. Percocet's great. Although I'll tell you from my gallbladder surgery last year, Dilaudid is where it's at. If I was, like, I have... Yeah, like me, I'm fairly clean living dude. Alcohol's about the
yeah.
I don't smoke. I've never been an addicted kind of guy, and they gave me like the morphine they were giving me stopped working. They strictly had me on morphine, and it stopped working. So they switched me to Dilaudid, and the morphine was good. The Dilaudid, I don't know what the difference is, but I was like, I get drug addiction. I want this all the time. I never want to not have this in my veins. Like, can you please sell this to me in some form I can smoke, crack, or inject? And they won't, legally, and it's very upsetting to me.
Oh, I forgot the name of the stuff I had. It started with an A, and it kind of felt like being drunk, but it was a weird feeling, and I didn't like at all. I like being drunk. I really like being drunk. I was drunk yesterday, and I just didn't like this stuff. Although maybe I should try it with alcohol. Maybe it would be better.
I had the stuff they gave me to bring home, which I don't remember the name of. The pain meds they sent home with me. God, my brain's not going to work. Anyway, whatever that was did that kind of where I felt kind of drunk. And one night I took it and I was laying in bed. And I was in a strange bed because we went, it was my family reunion. So and this was like 3 days after my gallbladder surgery. So me and my wife went up to a beach in North Florida, and we're at this little cottage on the beach, and we're in these twin beds, and I take my 2 pills, and I go to bed, and it's the last of my medication, so it's, after that I was like pain med free. But I was laying on the bed, and I was staring up, and there was a smoke detector on the ceiling, and I stared at it for 12 hours. I kid you not, terrified. Knowing in my brain that it's a smoke detector, but I thought it was an alien monster on the ceiling. My conscious brain was like, go to bed. That's a friggin' red light. And my like drug-addled brain was like, that's a monster that's gonna eat you. And I laid perfectly still in my bed until morning. I did not sleep.
Oh God, that's fucking hilarious. Oh, I didn't have that kind of reaction to any of mine, unfortunately. Oh God, dude, that's funny. That's why people listen to the show. They don't listen for our analysis of retro games. They listen to us for the fucked up stories we have.
Yeah, it was messed up. My wife wakes up and she's like, "Did you not sleep?" And I was like, "Can't, monster." Staring at me. Don't move. It's gonna eat you.
Can't, monster. You sound like Archer. Oh man. For me, I was after that I was stuck in a knee immobilizer. So I have this giant, 3 straps on the thigh, 3 straps on the lower half of my leg. I can't say the ankle. It's around the calf basically, and 2 big metal slats on both sides to hold it in place. And that's how I've had to sleep for the past 6.5 fucking weeks.
Even now I hate it.
It's terrible. I have to keep a pillow in between my legs because I don't want to bang my knee on the metal on the other leg. It's just absolutely terrible. But I've hit the goal for 6 weeks, which is 0 degrees and 90 degrees. So I get this thing off into a smaller one on Wednesday, 2 days from now, I'm hoping. Work said they would work with me through this surgery. Now, I was injured April 26th. That's when it happened. April 28th, I went on a fucking trip with a blown out ACL anyway, on crutches, to a fucking stadium to install fucking security equipment for 2 days, and then out to fucking Miami Valley where I'd been working for months at a casino to finish some shit up there without complaining to the fucking work. I told them what happened, but I didn't complain. So, I'm working my ass off for the next month and a half. My surgery wasn't until June 13th. Friday the 13th. Which explains why everything went fucking bad. So they had all this time to find me work for when I was going to be laid up for at least 6 weeks while I healed, possibly longer if they had to do the meniscus. Well, they had to do the meniscus. So I get all my paperwork together and I'm like, okay, I'm allowed to come back to work today. Can I come back to work? Oh, no, fuck you. You can't come back to work. Fuck you. We're not having you come back ever. Pretty much. You can come back when you can climb a ladder again. So 4 fucking months from now. Well, from now, 3.5 or 2.5, but still. 4 fucking months from the surgery, I can go back to work. So I've been earning $170 a week. I'll repeat that. $170 a week. My house cost me $150 a week. What am I going to do on $20 a week?
Drink 2 malt liquors from the grocery store and get fucked up 1 day a week.
Yeah, that's about all I could do. Thank God my parents are, pretty well off. They've been helping. But what the fuck? So, because of that, I now don't trust the fuckers at work. Even though they've now told us, well, we might be able to have you come back if you can get us more paperwork. That was 2 weeks ago. Like, hey, if you get us even more paperwork that says what we've already been told by the paperwork you gave us, we might have something for you, so why don't you get that? I said, well, you know what? I see my doctor in 2 weeks. I'll let you know then. I'm not going to go out of my way to get you more fucking paperwork after I went out of my way 3 fucking times. I'm doing everything I can not to work there. I've applied to a bunch of different jobs. I have one that's going pretty well that might allow me to get out of this thing for a company that my buddy's working for, earning $10 more an hour than I'm earning at my current job, doing a lesser job than I would be doing at the next job I might have, if you can follow that. So, yeah. I might earn half again as much as I'm earning now if I get this job, which would be great. Well, what I should be earning if I was actually working.
Yes.
The dentist is part of this time I've had off. I might as well get that out of the way. Found out my dentist is a big gamer. He plays World of Tanks. He's in his 40s, at least. He plays World of Tanks with a bunch of dads, which is fucking awesome. He even told me that he almost ruined his career because he played Diablo 2 too much, and his hand was cramping from all the clicking, and he couldn't really do good dentistry with it. Awesome. He's also the only other person I met in real life who owns Steel Battalion for the Xbox.
With the fucking ginormous
yes,
thing?
With the 40-button controller? Yeah.
That shit was awesome.
And then this last weekend, I went and played pinball in Buffalo. And my goal when I went there was to not come in last place. Like, I felt like I pretty much came in the last time I went to a tournament with these people. That tournament was run a little differently. You weren't all ranked in one category. They had their actual Buffalo Pinball group, the people in the league, and then they had the people who just showed up. They just assigned them to a bunch of other people and said, here, go play. So we went to Pocketeer in Buffalo, which is a small place just south of the city. They had 16 games, I think it was, which is awesome, in a pool hall. And we had 24 participants. So the first two games I came in last place. I'm like, well, here we go. I just need to come in third once, I think, and I'll be okay. Next game, I fucking win because we were playing The Sopranos and everyone else drained their ball in like 10 seconds on all three balls, and I had one stay up for about 20 to get me enough points to win that. I was like, holy fuck, I won a game. So things kept going. I then came in last again, and then I won again, and the second place, and again, and I ended up in sixth place overall because of that, which put me into the playoffs. Because top 8 made playoffs. I was like, what the fuck just happened? How did I do this? And two of those games where I came in first, I had never played before. Ever. Which was awesome. So, yeah. That's my story.
I didn't know there was skill involved in pinball.
Oh, you should see some of these guys play. It's amazing what they can do. And you'd think, you're just waiting for the ball not to go down the middle or down the sides. But no, these guys are slamming the sides of the table with accuracy to make the ball move just enough to catch a flipper and move to the other flipper. It's crazy watching these guys who are really good at this.
Tilt, I say.
Apparently, if you strike it really hard, it doesn't get the tilt bob moving too much, which is why you can do it. So you just do a really quick slap on the side and not just, shake the whole table. Shaking the whole table is what cause it to tilt because the bobber gets moving faster and faster.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like cheating somehow.
Yes and no. Everyone can do it. You just got to learn how. It's not like entering a cheat code.
I feel like the owner would be like, "Yo, stop slapping my machine."
No. This is apparently how you play pinball at a high level. I've watched some professionals and stuff. Exactly what they do too.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Me either until I started looking it up. Anyway, that'll take us into news. You want to talk about the first one?
Yes. Much like the awesome Doom playing piano, you can now play Doom on an ATM. That's right. Someone took some of their hard-earned time and money and put Doom on an ATM. I feel like we should make a game out of this where if you want to withdraw money, you have to kill enemies. Like every enemy is like $5. Like you can't go past your withdrawal limit, but you have to earn those withdrawals.
See, I would do it the exact opposite. The better you are at the game, the less you have to pay to withdraw your money. So those ATM fees will all be waived if you can get past the first level.
Okay, so that I can get behind that. If you get past the first level, it's like your $5 ATM fee is now $2.
Yeah,
but if you get past level 2, yeah, now it's no money.
And if you ever equip a chainsaw, that's free $5.
I can get behind that. That being said, he's using a keyboard and stuff that are hardwired in, essentially, to play. He's not playing with the 4 buttons on the ATM, which
he's using those and keyboard.
Yes, but he has a keyboard and a mouse along with the 4 buttons.
So, if you watch the video, you can tell they're talking about it and they're mentioning some of the technical details about how they did it while they're talking about it, which is pretty cool. And
it's very cool.
It's obviously they're not outside a bank playing this on an ATM. They didn't do that. They have one in a shop somewhere. It looks like it's pretty fucking messy. I would have cleaned up before I recorded a video that was going to be super popular.
Yeah.
But that brings us into Twitch Plays Pokemon X. So you've heard of Twitch Plays Pokemon. I think they played Red last time, or was it Blue that we talked about it?
I think it was Red.
Either way, they were playing that. They've now loaded up the most modern one, Pokemon X, on the 3DS. You looked into some of the technical specs. How did they do this?
Yeah, they actually connected a serial port from their computer, which I don't know where they found a goddamn serial card in this day and age, but and then connected that to a circuit board, and then hardwired that circuit board into the motherboard of this 3DS to do the inputs. And they had a custom UI developed that aggregated the inputs from Twitch and sends it to this motherboard.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's a lot of work to play Pokemon X.
Well, the thing is, you can use it for any Twitch plays on a 3DS now.
Yes.
So at least
now
there's that.
It is.
But crazy. I watched it a little bit today, and it was just hilarious watching them. Like, you see all the commands come in. No one's actually chatting in the chat. Everyone's just typing, A, X, B, start to fuck with people. And like they found something, to kill. It was a group of little rock guys. I forgot their names. And because someone said click here on the touchscreen, it went ahead and ran away. Like here's 5 monsters, a much lower level than you that you could have easily killed. Nope, we decided to run because that's the command that was chosen. I can't wait to see what the beat time on this is because it's so much longer than Pokemon Red.
At last time I checked, they were stuck in the hedge maze and had been for a number of hours.
That's hilarious. So you want to talk about the next one? It's one of your favorite games.
Yeah, The Room and The Room 2 are some of my favorite iPad games. The first one, The Room, is being ported to PC. They're doing a full-on HD graphic updo. It looks much prettier, even though the iPad is, HD or whatever. It's still a tiny screen. So they've got they added lighting effects and a bunch of other neat shit, and I fucking love it. And now more people are gonna get to play it, and that's great. I'm a little I'm not disappointed. Is not the right word, but like the touchscreen is the perfect way to play this game. Like the way you manipulate the world and the box, it feels like you're playing with the box.
Yep.
So going to a mouse and keyboard is not, I feel like you're going to lose something. It's still going to be a fun game for sure. But honestly, if you've got a touch device that can play it, I recommend that version, even though it won't look as pretty. I think the touch is just something. It's just better.
I agree.
But that being said, if you don't have a way to play it that way, fucking buy this shit on Steam when it comes out on July today. Came out today.
July today.
July today. Came out today. Buy that shit because that game is the tits.
I completely agree. Maybe you have a touchscreen PC. I don't know if they included those things. I didn't look it up ahead of time, but I agree with everything you said. It's much better on a touch device, I think, because you're right. There is no game that feels better on a touch device that I've ever played.
Yeah, the way, because everything revolves, it's called The Room, but it really should be called The Box, although that sounds like a porn.
Well, there was a discussion about that on the article. Yes, you're playing with the box, but each time you complete a puzzle, you move into a new room and you discover more about the story. And I think that's why they named it what they did.
But it is a fantastic game, and you should do yourself a favor and play it.
Speaking of games you want to play and games you don't, 700 of the unearthed copies of E.T. will be sold. So if you want a piece of the Atari landfill, of which there are still 700,000 Atari products buried in it that are not going to be cleaned up, you can get one of the 700 copies of E.T. they pulled up.
That is some bullshit. That's like if somebody found a landfill from 50 years ago and was like, yo, you want this vacuum cleaner? No, we put it in there for a reason.
Here's some broken glass.
No, this game sucked. No one wanted it then or now.
To get a copy.
No.
But they're going to run 3 digits minimum. If there's only 700 of them and and people followed the story as much as they did, it'll go 3 digits at least.
It's neat, but that game sucks.
I'm with you. I've beaten it several times on mode 2, I think it is, but yeah, I'm with you.
But you have to read a walkthrough because that shit don't make sense.
No, I didn't.
You gotta fall in a hole and use your neck and dumb shit to what does that? It makes no sense.
I've just figured it out when I was a kid. But I knew all I had to do to figure it out was if that fucking FBI guy's not chasing me, I can take the time to figure this shit out. That's how I did it.
This game is as bad as Friday the 13th on the NES. I said it.
I haven't played that yet, so I'll have to compare and contrast. Maybe someday that'll be a discussion. We'll have a show on terrible fucking games. Speaking of terrible fucking games...
Oh, that's harsh.
We played Captain... if you don't know by now, we're making fun of the sound in the game, but Captain America and the Avengers is a side-scrolling beat-em-up and shooter, sort of.
Yeah, every other level is a side-scrolling shooter-ish.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, but It was developed and published by Data East, who no longer exist as far as I know, and directed by Hidenobu Ito. I don't know what Nubu he's hiding, but Hidenobu Ito. It was originally released in the arcade in 1991, and the first port was on Sega Genesis in '92, which is the version we played, and then later on the Game Gear, the Super NES, and the Game Boy.
That being said, the Genesis version is considered to be the definitive port. It's the closest to the original arcade game. The NES, the Super NES version, was considered complete garbage. The controls were really, really bad, and the sound was awful.
Normally, we talk about how it was received and what kind of sales there were. I didn't find any info on that this time, but I did find that the arcade game is considered a common game. So, yay.
Yeah, it exists. It's around. It's at my local Player One.
Oh,
Or
nice. You want to talk about the story a little bit as it scrolls across our screen?
Yeah, the entire plot of this is you are the Avengers, loosely defined to the Avengers because I don't know, Vision's in here, whatever. That guy sucks. So, maybe Age of Ultron will make him cool. He's a robot. I don't know, whatever. So you play as Hawkeye, Captain America, Vision, or Iron Man, and you are trying to stop the Red Skull, who has built a moon base with a laser and is going to destroy the Earth. If that sounds like the plot to an Austin Powers film, it was.
Sounds like the Alan Parsons project.
Yeah, a little maybe. A moon laser. So that's the plot. Like, and for some reason that takes you underwater at some point. And you fight a robotic octopus, and I don't know why.
Because the robotic octopus is going to be used to throw these pieces at the moon.
Maybe. So you get there, and the laser's like already functional on the moon. So why he's not already firing it, I don't freaking know, man. But that's the plot of the game, and it is a loosely defined plot to get you through the action. The dialogue does not make any sense. You'll be the one escaping.
Why should it go well?
That's not a question. What is that? That doesn't make any goddamn sense. But that is the story in a nutshell.
So what you're telling me is they have a fully armed and operational battle station.
And it is a moon.
Exactly.
That's a moon!
That's no moon. Oh, sorry, let me hike these pants back up. So yeah, it's kind of terrible, isn't it? The story.
The story definitely is, and for some reason, this is not related to the story really, but I just saw it on the screen and it reminds me. Quicksilver runs across the screen at what for him would be a like infinitely slow crawl, because he's like wandering at a speed at which you can see him, and then he throws down a puddle of what is clearly Quicksilver because I guess his name's Quicksilver, and that heals you.
Yes.
And I don't know why any of those things happen.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't know why that happens. I know Wasp shows up in the second level.
Yeah,
and
Wasp,
she just kind of
she's in two different. She's a power up in two different levels. Also, in the water level, you can get Prince Namor, and he's a power up.
Ooh, but he wasn't an Avenger.
He was
a defender.
Whatever, he bangs
everyone was everything in fucking Marvel world. So yeah, it's a side-scrolling beat 'em up. You run to the right from the left using your jump and attack buttons to defeat generic enemies and eventually a named end boss. In this case, someone like Living Laser or Whirlwind. I think the first one was
Living Laser, Death or whatever. Red Skull at the end, and spoilers: a Death Skull robot. A giant robot in one level, which is I don't know if it's supposed to be a Sentinel or just
it kind of looks like a Sentinel, but it just says giant robot in the arcade game.
Yeah, I don't know if it was like a ripoff or what. Like it looks like a Sentinel, but it's not called that in the game, so I don't know what's going on there. You fight a giant octopus who has some villain inside that I don't remember.
Yeah, they're a little weird. You can choose from 4 characters. You can be Captain America, Hawkeye, Iron Man, or the Vision. Or is it just it's just Vision, not the Vision?
Yeah, it's just Vision.
So here you can see
there's Wonder Man. Wonder
Man, and then next will be the nice bubble cars that Captain America and Hawkeye get because they don't really fly.
What's weird is in all the side-scrolling levels, this is the only one where they get those. because the next one's underwater and they have little jetpacks, and the next one, the one after that's in space and they have jetpacks. So they literally modeled these stupid little bubble cars for one level. They could have just given him the jetpack from space, and I think people would have been happy. So they spent a lot of time making these bubble cars. And every character has an infinite projectile, which is kind of unique in a beat 'em up. You can throw your shield or shoot arrows as Hawkeye like all day, which is funny because like the shooting levels, Captain America's shooting is his shield, so he must have like 18 of these up his ass.
No, you can see him returning.
Yeah, no, look, there's like 12 of them on the screen literally right now. Like he's got like 15 of these things crammed up his ass somewhere because there's too many. Like he can fire them like there's like 6 on the screen at once, and that doesn't make like sense. That's not logic.
Why are the missiles robots? I mean, what is up with that?
I don't know, man. This is a unique game in which for whatever. All right, so enemy health bars are actually health bars. Your health bar is a number. It just says like 100 or 90 or 42, and for whatever reason. But you can actually go over 100 in this game. And I don't know if there's actually a cap. I never found it, but I got up to like 150 at one point.
In the arcade, you can keep popping quarters, I found out. And I got it up to 500. And I just stopped there. I'm like, yeah, that should get me through the first level. So I assume it can keep going. I'm not sure how high it can get. It looks like there's not enough room for a 4th digit, but maybe.
Yeah, I'll bet it stops at 999. I never got it that high, but
So who did you play as mostly?
I played as Cap. I like Cap.
Yep, that was my choice as well. I found reading some comments and stuff that apparently he's the strongest of the 4, followed by Iron Man and then Hawkeye and then Vision, which doesn't surprise me. This is like the only game I know of that you can play as Vision.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It is. What's weird is how old it is. Like to be the only one. That's super weird, I guess. And it's Hawkeye melee stuff, by the way, and Hawkeye's the only one without super strength, and he melees just as hard as everyone else, and that to me is dumb.
Yeah, that's an issue.
But he does, and whatever. I mean, I guess you'd have to, if not, because he's punching robots, and normal people, man, they can't punch robots.
No, you hurt your hand. Hey, there's Giant Robot, who definitely looks like a Sentinel. So you want to talk about music and sound effects?
Yeah, the music in this game is really good, I think. It's really upbeat. It's really, like, arcadey and gets you into action. But it is very repetitive. Every level has a variation, pretty much, of the same, like, 8 notes. So you'll hear the same music a lot. It's different, but not very different. So it'll get a little frustrating. The explosions actually sound pretty bitching, but the dialogue, the voice work, is terrible. You can barely understand the words, and even when they subtitle them, you can understand.
Yeah, you can. It's not just the voice acting. Well, I guess you could call it. Can you call it voice acting on a 16-bit system? Because voice.
I don't think so. It's just a voice synthesizer, but it's really bad.
It's terrible. I mean, the Sega at the beginning of games comes out better than the Avengers does.
The Avenger.
So I talked about a lot of comparisons to the arcade game. This is actually a pretty true port. The arcade game's just as terrible, as far as I'm concerned. Except the graphics are obviously much better in the arcade game because back then they always were.
There were 2 versions of this as an arcade game, for the record. There was a 2-player and a 4-player.
Yep.
The 4-player was much like a lot of the like the X-Men one and a couple of the others, where each controller was a dedicated hero, like you stood where your hero was. Mm-hmm. And the 2-player you chose. In the 2-player version, I'm not sure about the 4-player version, but the 2-player version, this is one of the major differences in the ports, was that in the arcade version, especially the 2-player, when you died, when you continued, you chose a different Avenger that hadn't died yet.
That hadn't died? I
Yeah,
didn't get to that part.
Died. But that's only in the arcade version. This version, you just play as yourself. I think you can change. I
you
never
can
tried.
change in the Genesis version. I have. Hello?
Yes.
Oh, okay. You just stopped. So I was like, oh, okay.
I was done now.
So, did you have a good time playing it? What was your overall thoughts?
So I played this single and I played a little two player with a buddy, and this game is infinitely more fun two player. Um,
That I'll
it
believe.
The one player version, I still think the game is fun, but it's actually kind of hard one player. When you have two players, the game is actually kind of really a joke. Like it's really easy because your jump kick knocks over bosses for the most part, or if you hit them with enough projectiles. So you have one person that literally jump kick spams, and the other one just fires like nonstop into stuff, and with their projectile, and the bosses pretty much just melt. And it doesn't. Maybe there is, but it doesn't feel like stuff gets more health with two players, like in a typical beat 'em up. So it feels like you just kind of like melt through their health bar a lot of the time.
I'm watching the two-player version that I downloaded from YouTube here, and they are obviously doing much better than I ever did in this game. They haven't died yet, and they're through Whirlwind, or not Whirlwind, Grim Reaper. So
Which is
yeah,
like level 3, I think.
it was challenge 2, the end of the second level, because the third one
Okay, yeah.
it comes up and says the bottom of the sea,
Oh yeah, yeah,
under
yeah.
the sea. So scores out of 10. I'm gonna give this thing a 5. This game was okay, but it's a shame when there was another Marvel property out that was such a better side-scrolling beat 'em up at the same time in both arcades and they had other stuff available as well on consoles. But X-Men, the six-player gigantic two-screen beast, was a far better side-scrolling beat 'em up
Who
that came out.
you? You said Beast. Notably, you could not be Beast.
That's true. You could not be Beast. You could be Nightcrawler. That's kind of
You
close.
could be Nightcrawler.
Um,
Uh,
this is also worse than Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 on the NES, which is TMNT, the arcade game. Altered Beast on the Genesis, which was a launch game. Golden Axe on the Master System, and slews of other beat 'em ups that are just far superior to this one. It just.
I don't know. I think this is as good as some of those. Definitely, like X-Men and stuff is better, but like I don't know about Altered Beast.
Oh, I love Altered Beast. You just run and kick everything.
I think you're a furry. You just like werewolves? Does it do it for you?
No, it's the dragon.
Okay, nice. Uh, Gross.
Maybe a little bit of the tiger.
So I'm gonna give this a 7 out of 10. I don't I you know I think it's actually worse than most games I'd give a 7 to. But this game is the quintessential more fun than it is good. Like this game is not very good. There's not a lot going on. There's very few power ups, like maybe one every other level, and it's like a static. You got the wasp. Um,
What does she do
that,
for you? Just make your attack stronger?
yeah, she comes out as a part of your projectile attack and uh, just makes it a little stronger. It's honestly barely noticeable.
Yeah, because I couldn't. She just kind of seemed to be floating around me when I had her. I was like,
Yeah, every time you
okay.
shoot, she like runs off and goes with your projectile and hits them.
Oh, we're at the
Uh,
tentacle porn.
yeah, the underwater tentacle, like the weird snake robot monsters.
Yeah.
Uh, so again, I recommend playing this game, but I recommend playing it with a friend. If you play it by yourself, it's okay. You'll enjoy it, but it's kind of forgettable. If you play it with two players, you get to play Avengers. There went Namor in his little swimsuit. Uh,
To go with the
you know,
tentacles.
you get to play some of the best Avengers and Vision. Um,
I see what you did there.
it's a lot. It's actually a lot of fun.
See, I feel
But
that way
it's
about
again,
Hawkeye.
it's not very good. And a lot of the bosses are pretty simple, especially the shooter levels are really easy. Thrown in more for flavor than effect, I guess. Like the octopus boss, which is the water boss level, which is on the screen right now if you're watching the live stream, is just kind of a joke. He has like really two attacks. He's got the laser and the whips leg tentacles.
That's all
whatever
the
they're called.
giant robot has. He has his arm swing down and his lasers.
Yeah, the shooting levels are really easy. The only thing that's going to give you trouble is the bosses, and some of them by yourself are really hard. They'll mercilessly pound you like the new girl at the porn shoot.
So number one Avenger of all time for you, besides Cap.
Aw.
Yeah, well,
But
Cap is obvious. It's our favorite, both of us.
man, I don't know. It ain't Thor. It ain't Iron Man. It ain't Hulk. Maybe Hawkeye.
Really?
Mostly with Hawkeye because of his run on the Ultimates. If you ever read them,
Yeah.
where he's kind of a badass. The scene where he confronts Black Widow, who had his family killed, and she's in the hospital bed, and he like shoots both of her arms to the wall, and then like shoots her in the face with a bow. That shit is tight.
Yeah.
That's really about. I mean, unless you want to count Spider-Man, he's an Avenger at one point.
I guess you could. You could count Wolverine too. I mean, they were both part of the new Avengers.
So Spider-Man would be my like second choice, really.
For a B-list Avenger?
Yeah, I don't know. Iron Man's interesting, but I never really dug the character of Tony Stark that much. So
I like him more in the movies than I ever did in the comics.
yes, I mean RDJ is clearly like the quintessential. He's basically Tony Stark in real life if he owned a flying robot suit.
Yeah. For me, it's the Hulk. I love the Hulk.
The Hulk is a lot of fun.
He's one of my
also the
favorite characters
second
of all time.
enemy that the Avengers ever fought.
Yes, one of the original Avengers and the second guy they fought. It's awesome. When they came out with the Hulk coaster, I was like, "Yep, got to do that." They came out. I have a Hulk bobblehead right here next to me. I mean,
Nice.
I even had a giant rasterized image that I was going to put up in my apartment back when I was living alone. But
What, your wife ain't gonna let you put up a big ass fat head?
I don't want to pay for a fat head for one.
You know the
you can get the
wall
Hulk in
sticky.
them now, and yeah. But
Put it up. Do it. Don't even ask. Just
I
do
did
it.
have a Captain America then. It was up in my bedroom. It was, from ceiling to floor, a full-size Captain America.
Yeah.
I could put it up right here above my computer. That would work. Move this silly clock I got.
No, while she's sleeping, you put it up next to where she's sleeping on the bed. So she wakes up staring at the Hulk's dick. Like, eye level to like the Hulk's Hulk.
That's fucked up.
That's what I want.
She's gonna listen to this later and be like, "You fucking people are insane." All right, so I forgot to mention it, but Malorium wanted to talk about the weather a little bit, and he's right too, because today was fucking terrible. We actually had a flood watch for like 24 hours and all sorts of shit in my town. I mean, it was terrible. It was absolutely terrible with rain. You get rain all the time because you're in fucking Florida, but we don't get rain where it's all day like this very often.
It doesn't rain all day unless there's a hurricane. Usually it's like an hour and a half, 2 hours, and boom, sunshine again.
Malorium lives a couple hours away from me, so we tend to get the same weather. But yeah, what the fuck was up with today? Anyway, we're gonna move on to what we're talking about with the next show, which is
Rogue Squadron on the N64.
that's right. You too can be. Shit, I forgot his name.
Wedge Antilles.
Yes, I was gonna say Biggs Darklighter. I'm like, no, it's not Biggs Darklighter. He's fucking dead.
Yep.
Dumbass.
Wedge Antilles, who
Wedge
leads Rogue
Antilles.
Squadron and later Wraith Squadron. That's right, I read the EU. Deal with it.
And then his daughter shows up in Wraith Squadron. What? Yeah, his daughter.
And she was hot.
Pockets. Alright, that's pretty much going to do it for us, unless you got something left.
No, I am out of gas.
Alright, have a good night, folks. This song brought to you by TemporaryFreeSound.org.